Okay, so obviously
The
we don't
age
wanna
of
be waiting
loads
around
is
too
over,
long.
the
We
age
do
of
wanna
y'all
get
is
stuck
here.
in stuff. But I've seen
great to
so
see
many people like flying past.
Yeah, and thanks for hanging out with us. I know it's late for some, early for some. It's a big world out there. Let's
Reward
go
DOS
enjoy your
redeemed
coffee,
Switch hats. I
morning coffee,
know.
watching
I
this.
did it before you even did
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah,
And I
this goes
lied
so
when I
fast,
said
can
that
barely
somebody
see it. I
else
was in
did
New
a
York,
Switch hats.
the UK, Rhode Island, Canada.
Call the cops.
I think I saw a.
Call the
France
cops.
by
Don't give
there.
a shit.
Fenris.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in for Fenris. It's really hard to get good Wi-Fi in Fenris as well, so good job. Good job on doing that. Got to be like within a few
Is
hundred meters of the
Fenris
bank,
a
I think.
planet? You can tell me.
There's no other signal. There's no other signal.
Is it
following it around.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Is it a planet? Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we probably should jump into.
I'm losing my
40,000
mind
first.
so
Start with
stoked.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. One Astromanta reigns supreme. Whoa, Necron Pog. Is this not... Were we expecting this? A master of time itself. He's got the cube. Nice. Control the cosmos.
If you've been watching the live events, you've seen Orkin in just about every Necron list out there right now.
Or
now
ponder.
players are
Well,
gonna
it's a cube
soon
ponder,
get the opportunity
kinda.
to put a
Pondering
new
the
model
cube.
into that unit.
Yeah, this is a new
Is that a Tomb
multi-part,
King? Kinda.
plastic Oracan the Diviner. It's a very cool new miniature on its way very soon. This is another step on the way to having
I like him.
fully plastic Necron army. Which
I like a lot of the
actually
Necron
where you
stuff
want
that
to
they
be.
make.
This is a very dynamic
looks cool.
miniature. It's the arch kind of chronomancer of the Necrons. He is able to predict the passage of
Chronomancer.
time in the future using all sorts of arcane science. Not any warp shenanigans, nothing so crass as that for the Necrons, just a complete mastery of the physical realm.
Cool.
We know this guy from some of the games
Hey,
we've been
that's
streaming
cool.
from the championship. Very popular currently.
Yeah, this
in
guy's
Necron
alright.
armies as he kind of buffs nearby
Doesn't
units
blow
and
me
also
away,
shows
but I
slouch
like
in
him. I
combat.
like the Necron heroes and
also
stuff. I think they're
very
cool.
Interesting character in the
I don't
lore
play
as well.
40K,
If
but
you've
they're
read any
neat.
of the Black Library novels recently, the
Yeah,
Infinite
cool
and the Divine
staff.
is
I
a
like the
fine
staff.
read, and he's one
I
of the
don't know
stars.
about the orbs.
love it, all the
I like the
personalities
cube that he
about
ponders.
Necrons
That's a
over
good
the
part.
last, several years as that developed.
I like
It's just
the
very captivating. Loving it. This
spinal
model
tail
is
thing. That
brilliant.
thing's neat.
Yeah, very cool as well. It's got kind of a
he has a little
bit
tiny
of,
symbol here.
Canoptechness
Nice.
about it as well, with that kind of
You can
cloak
see some
down
rib
the back
cage.
and that kind of weird wavy spine. The
and he has a little
chronomancers
bug,
and the, kind of
little funny
technomancers
bugs.
of the Necrons do tend to kind
They
of
put little
enhance
funny bug
themselves
friends on the
very-
bases. Those are
Yeah,
always
a little
fun.
bit, yeah, there's a bit of kind of arcane mad scientist about this guy as well.
He
Yeah, I did love
regularly
the popular
spends
choices
centuries
of
doing
Sweden
math. My man.
coming about.
This
That's
guy is
gonna be
cool.
amazing.
I don't think I've seen
don't know
a
anything
Necron army
else
in
about
the
him, and I
last few
like
months
him.
that hasn't had this guy in it. So obviously he'll be on his way with alongside the new codex, which we've already announced. Alongside
Are you guys getting this? Does it look like there's a delay between when they're talking and when you're here? Is that because of me, or is that on the stream itself?
To use in Necron Army, so it's a good time to be part of the Undying Metallic Legions right now.
Can't wait.
It's like a
speaking of which,
it's like
we have a little
like
bit
a
more on the
16th
way
of a
for the
second
Necrons,
off. It's like an
particularly
1/8
for
of a
fans
second off.
narrative play in Warhammer 40,000. Let's have a look at the next video.
Shit. That's a daughter of the Emperor. I was about to say daughter of Cain. What's the version? Sister of Battle. They're cool. Dare you enter the zone of silence? The silence zone? 40K crusade. What does this mean? Launch your campaign.
Look at that, launching your own campaign. Love the story-driven stuff. Speaking of things like the narrative happening here as
Narrative
well.
book, I
But look at
sleep.
this already
Says Blase.
amazing new stuff to add into your game system.
Yeah, so this is the next
Path to
narrative
Glory,
expansion
okay,
for
I
Warhammer
see.
40,000. This is the Pariah Nexus. Obviously, we were just coming out of a great
The resident
Warhammer
sleepers
Plus
in
show,
chat? Oh
which,
no,
which
Path
featured
to
the Pariah
Glory.
Nexus, and this is a campaign system set within that space. So we know that the Necrons are up to all sorts of weird arcane science shenanigans, trying to kind of explore the
Narrative is the
concept of
only good
soul
game
and
mode,
seeing if
says
the
Icarus
humans are
Potion.
kind of an exploitable resource almost to kind of harvest. In the same time, the Adeptus Mechanicus, very
This is based off an
interesting in
actually
some of the-
decent Warhammer
the tech
TV
and
show
things
they
that
made.
the Necrons have been
Oh, neat.
unearthing. So you've got this kind of arms race of two metallic armies into each other. The
Guy on the left
ancient
seems significantly
Necrons
more
and the,
sportscaster
kind
than
of
normal.
arcane
I'm
science of the Adeptus
maybe
Mechanicus in a
they're-
sort of super
know.
weapon arms
they're letting
race
their hair
into the
down a
Pariah
little bit.
Nexus, tying into all of the stories that we know have been happening right back to the start of almost 9th edition of Warhammer 40,000, and into that kind of
all
recent
Warhammer is
evolution. So if you
narrative,
enjoyed
true.
the kind of mega narrative of the Necrons, or you enjoyed the story of Pariah Nexus on Warhammer Plus, this is absolutely the way to kind of capture that
Warhammer
essence in your
Plus,
games of
huh?
Warhammer
Was that a
40,000.
good show? Anybody have Warhammer Plus watch
Oh,
the
yeah,
show? Was it
absolutely,
good?
Absolutely. Right, so that's on its way. So really exciting news for
Sisters of Battle versus Necrons.
narrative
That's
play
like
for
two
Warhammer
interesting
40,000.
factions,
We've
I
obviously
think.
talking an awful lot this
For as an
tournament
outsider.
about match play, but there's whole
It was mid,
amazing
it
other ways of playing
wasn't
Warhammer 40,000.
bad, it was
Narrative, of course.
okay.
Crusade, a huge success in the last few years.
It was pretty
This is the
solid,
next big,
okay-ish.
and not just way to play, but also
I'm getting
moving the
mixed
story on
signals.
of that
Well, actually, I'm
particular
not
part
getting
of the
mixed
galaxy,
signals.
which
I'm
has
getting
had,
consistent
a
signals.
pretty exciting last few years, the Pariah Nexus.
Love
It's
the painting.
short
Like,
time.
Adept's mechanic is one of those like super Warhammer things. Like you get to awaken all the art comes
They're
alive
super
on
weird.
those models.
Yeah,
as well.
and this is a Crusade
People would say
expansion
that
as well,
it's stellar
so
if
kind
it
of
were a
works
fan
for
animation on
all
YouTube.
Imperial armies and all armies really. So like anybody
Ouch.
can take part and
Okay.
use some of the rules from that.
It's a
but
great
it's
pirate.
particularly cool if you've got either an Imperial force or a Necron force, and you want to kind of explore that bit of the galaxy. There are so many cool places around the Warhammer 40,000 universe, and those Crusade books are basically going to jump between key war zones, continue the narrative
You're
and the
praying
story
for
in that
chorfs
location,
or
and
rats?
the next
Says
big one
Mech
is going
Rat.
to be
Well,
into
you're
the
named
Pariah Nexus,
correctly
which is pretty exciting.
That's
what you
awesome.
wish
We're
for.
just getting started.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look at another.
It's
new
my
launch that's on its
understanding
way for
that most
Warhammer
people think
40,000.
rats are coming with 4th edition, but they've done some wacky stuff before. Alright, chill on the music, sir. Take the test of phase. Claim another black something. Oh, this guy is cool. Isn't that neat? He's got his sword right in the head of
Amazing. How many weapons?
other
does that
guy. I
have?
don't know who that other guy
He
is.
certainly comes very well armed.
The fucking
this is,
sword.
Asmodee, the original interrogator chaplain of the Dark Angels, one of the most recognizable characters in Warhammer 40,000, and getting a brand
Is he?
new
Okay.
plastic miniature. This is the Master
Asmodee,
of Repentance,
Master
one
of
of the most
Repentance.
recognizable chaplains in Warhammer 40,000. I don't know about you, chaplains for me kind of encapsulate some of the absolute gothic horror of Warhammer 40,000, and
Master,
particularly of the
he's
Dark Angels.
Vape
the kind of
Master
brooding,
X.
imposing figure of Asmodee.
They can
Imposing
awaken the spirit
figure.
of the Marines around him, and this is captured all magnificently on this model.
I think
Look
the
at
thing
this.
in his hand
The
is kind of
robes, the
dumb.
cloaks, the skulls, the implements
Not
of destruction,
the thing in
and,
his hand's kind of
revealing
dumb. The
secrets.
sword is cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really cool things to call out
Robes
on
over
this
big
model
armor is
because,
kind of
you've
neat. I
got
like the
some
glowing
nice angles
eyes.
of the front and back of there.
The
So
spiky
you've
dog
got the
collar
hooded head
Iron
option if
Halo
you want,
thing.
which is
That's
the
cool.
kind of classic Asmodee that you guys will recognize from the current miniature, but also the classic
Brat
miniature
mode.
and some of the classic artwork we've seen. But we've never seen what's underneath that hood before, and now we can find out. It turns out it's a skull helmet. Who'd have known, right? So
Turns out it's a skull helmet,
chaplain.
okay.
You've got some very, very imposing weaponry there. An enormous great Calibanite greatsword. Crozius Arcanum, of course, with the kind of winged angel. On his back, he's got his pistol. He's
It's
also got
his
some
poke
implements
stick?
of torture in case he
Okay.
manages to get hold of a fallen or even one of the enemies that might know their location.
Coming out of his emergency
You've got a
gooning
back,
kit.
pack on him there. You can either have kind of dristing.
I don't know what that
drifting,
means, but
smoke
good
and
joke.
essence, or if you want to paint it up really nicely, or if you maybe don't really fancy painting.
They
up,
said
it's
this
not
is one of the
your
most recognizable guys in
it's not
40K.
your jam. You can absolutely just have a
You think
plain
that's
backpack
true?
and not have that ensign.
I've never heard of him
The
before,
options,
but then again, I
especially
don't
if
play
you
the
like to
game.
kit bashing your other Marine forces
Yeah,
and
I
that
mean,
kind of stuff.
the other, obviously, whichever one you pick, the other one is going to be available.
That's
for
a
you to
lie.
use.
No.
This is the kind of classic.
Not
one,
at
I suppose.
all. Okay.
The other thing to call out there, if you're a
Damn, they
Fallen
said
Angels
that,
fan
though.
like me,
All right,
the
they're
plastic
just
Fallen
going
Angel
around
base
saying that.
is, which is pretty cool.
There's one for you.
There's
Well,
one.
they didn't
Here
say
you go.
most, they said one of the
some
most
kind of looks like
recognizable.
Crusade pattern armor there to me, with I think a sword through his head. So he's maybe not having the best day, but still nice to see them represented.
This just screams.
He's one of
Dark
the 80
Angels.
million
This
named
is
Space
so
Marines.
jumping
Okay.
off.
Oh, it's
Not
so
even
goth.
top
I
20.
love the ludicrously oversized sword. Absolutely.
I don't mean to
ridiculous.
downplay
Like,
him.
Space
He looks
Marines
pretty
have
cool, I guess.
Very over-the-top weaponry, but even by Space Marine standards, that sword is a statement.
Because in
That's
my
what
head,
it's
I'm
doing
like,
for
what's
40K.
the most
There you go.
recognizable
It's
characters
over-
in
there's no such
40K?
thing as over the top.
Like
But
the
speaking
Emperor
of,
and probably all the
enormous
Primarchs,
great
and
weapons,
that's
we have
almost
another
20
unit to show
right
you
there.
today for the Dark Angels, which is the Deathwing Knights. This is a new Terminator unit, the specialized elite of the elite of the Dark Angels. in the
Big
circle.
armor,
See these,
dudes. This is
they
kind of a
are
neat color
amazing.
scheme.
Look
You
at
don't
that,
see
just
cream a
gorgeous,
lot.
Intimidating, coming across the battlefield. Who does not love the impending march of Terminators.
This is like
I
some.
mean, Terminators are innately cool, right? This has been a great
This is
year
some
for Terminator fans. We've had a brand
1979
new,
kitchen
unit in the
color
Warhammer box
scheme.
set at the launch of the new edition of Warhammer
Cream
40,000.
and
We've then
green.
had the multi-part kit, adding some options. You've had new Terminator chaplains,
Looks kind of
Terminator
neat.
librarians, new Terminator captains, and now we're starting
Loads
to
of
see some more
cream.
specialized Terminators of the chapters come forth, and the first amongst
Didn't
them
they just
is, of
release
course,
these? I don't know. I don't pay
Terminator
attention to
Masters
40K.
of Warhammer 40,000, the Deathwing,
It's
which
called
are
Bone. Yeah.
perhaps even amongst the Space Marines, the most renowned Terminators in the
We've
galaxy.
got some comments in the chat said it's not a want, it's a mighty need that's happening.
Yeah.
And there's also some questions we might be able to answer here in a second.
Yeah, there's some options in this kit which is worth calling out. So Deathwing Knights at the moment obviously have.
It's
their
meant to
maces.
evoke a Native
There is
American
build
Ghost
in this
Warrior
kit with
vibe.
enormous, great
Okay, well,
Caliber Knight swords, and for
you
me
could
as
have
well,
quizzed me
obviously,
on it, and I would have
the
guessed
Dark Angels are
until I
synonymous with
died of
sword
old
being
age, and I
the
never
symbol
would have
of
guessed
the
that.
chapter itself is that broken
But-
sword representing all sorts of stuff in the kind of mythology
It doesn't mean
of
they
the Dark
failed.
Angels. Even the symbol of the Dark Angels. And
Maybe
the
it means that
itself,
I failed.
hint at the secrets within the chapter, the broken sword, representing literally the broken sword of the lion. but
Cool
also
new
the
annihilators. Yeah,
Legion
these guys
and the
look
kind of
cool. I think they
and the
look cool.
fight against
It's
treachery sort of thing,
like
on the
humongous
shields
armor.
themselves. So swords and caliber.
I like
swords
humongous
particularly,
armor.
Hark back to the very origins.
Yeah,
of
this
the
stuff.
Legion and
This
their
is
kind
neat.
of, the knights
As a
and warband sort of
non-40K
thing.
It's
player,
hard to
I
avoid
approve
right
of the
there,
huge
Stormbringer
armor
may
these
not
dudes
become
have.
a fan of
They
it.
just
Nice
super like
shields.
swords, I guess, is what I'm getting at. They really like swords.
Swords
But
are a
they
little
also
small,
like,
but they're like realistic
enormous great
sized.
maces, and you can also build this unit as a mace.
Why does this dude have a
wielding
monocle?
unit,
Let's
much like the
go.
current,
Okay.
kits
The
in some of
gentleman
the
captain.
Current, like smaller Terminators. So if you've still got some
And
of
the
those
dude
old
with the super
Terminators,
tiny
you still
head.
use them. They've still got the same weapon builds and stuff. But you probably want to upgrade them to these new ones because they're just so cool and imposing.
I'm looking at these. I'm seeing different helmets. I'm seeing different weapon options. I'm seeing lots of hobby time awaiting, calling.
You like the
So some
maces
stuff
more
we
than
can
the
call out
swords?
is that
I
you
think the
absolutely have
maces
enough
remind me
stuff
of
in
like
this kit to
police
build
stun
them all with
batons in a
swords. You have
futuristic
enough in
movie.
this kit to build them all with
Which
maces
makes
if you
sense
want to.
because
You also have enough
a
in this
million
kit to
years
build
ago,
them all
Space
with
Marines
helmets
started
ahead,
as psycho
or you can build them
cops
all with hooded
of the
heads.
galaxy
So you've got
before they
loads of
got
different options, and you can either lean fully into one of those
you
and
know,
go, well, I'm going to have
the
them all
modern
hooded,
lore.
or you can go, I want some of them with helmets and some of them with hoods, or you can buy 2 units and mix it up. So you can get a few of these and build them a few different ways, which is cool because one of the kind of archetype ways, I suppose, of building a Dark Angels army is to really
Here's a little
lean
guy.
into one of the themes of the wings, basically. So I got to go all bikes or all Terminators or all Tacticus, and if you go all Terminators, which is it's a very cool way of doing an army, right? You definitely want some.
their
more than
icon
one
is a
unit,
sword.
definitely.
Damn, if their icon is a
Like
sword, they
these
best
watching
be using
Terminators
swords.
are
I don't know.
back.
Terminators are absolutely back this edition. Like certainly, there's a little bit for
Terminators are back this edition. Is that true,
Maybe, you know,
chat?
the shine came off them a little bit. There's lots of other things that have been cool that have come.
Anybody
out
play
recently,
40K?
but, Terminators kind of very much strode back into both. Kind of
Yes and no.
miniature-wise, some
Okay.
of the incredible miniatures come out this year, but also
It's
into
fair
the
of
kind
him to
the
say that
meta
because
play
he could
of
be
Warhammer
thinking about
40,000.
the stuff
Terminators
that's yes.
definitely have
I
their
guess
niche.
it's
Hang
mostly
on.
no.
I just want to hang out with this watcher in the dark.
He's a cool watcher. Look at him. I think what I can't remember.
Terminators
you called
never
out earlier
left.
on. It looks like his robes are just a little bit big for him, maybe. Yeah, it looks a little bit big, like he's got Dad's hoodie on, sort of thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but very very cool, very very cool miniature. On the way.
By
that
design,
comes
yes.
in
By
the set,
gameplay,
kind
it
of gives you some
depends.
bonuses and
Okay.
stuff as well,
I mean,
which is
that's
really
fair.
Cool. Right, so that's
Is that
Warhammer
all we
40,000.
can hope
might
for,
have
really?
A little bit more stuff that you can use in 40k later on. But
If
let's
they
have a
are
look at the
in your
roadmap for
LARPing,
codexes. So
damn.
we know Adeptus Mechanicus and Necrons are on their way really, really soon, like really, really soon. So if you're fans of those armies, then you're in for a good few weeks. Then we know that we've got Dark Angels on the way, no surprise there. A Codex supplement to add on to Codex Space Marines and Orcs and Adeptus Custodes and Tau Empire and Codex Chaos Space Marines.
Look at
all
this
coming in
fucking
spring 24.
axe.
It's an absolutely bumper crop of
I can
codexes.
hear the
It's the
wasp starting
size
to
of
build
his
right
own
now.
torso.
I mean, it always
I
comes.
like this
It's
guy.
never too far away. But we can announce today that the next 2 codexes following those releases in summer 2024 will be Genestealer Cults.
Isn't it? It's nice to
and
have a
Adeptus
roadmap,
Sororitas,
right?
2 very cool, very interesting armies. And I think
Giga
one thing that's worth
axe.
calling out on that spread of codexes, that's a really broad spread in terms of there's a little bit of chaos in there, there's lots of Xenos, there's lots of Imperial, really nice mix of factions
TAU
coming
Empire.
into
That's a
Warhammer
lot
40,000.
coming. That's coming sooner than we think, too.
Yeah.
Chaos Space
I mean, it's
Marines
gonna
are showing
add a
up.
lot of infusion into the game.
And all of that is coming within the next kind of 6 to 7 months. So there's absolute.
It's also a gun.
Favorite army redacted. No,
Good
who
work.
knows?
And the super,
Who knows what's
Good
super
work.
secret
Yeah.
codex as well. On the way
Cannot
there.
wait.
No
That's
Grey
awesome.
Knights or
Players should get
Drukhari yet.
excited
Let's
because we've
go.
seen all the breadth of life that the codexes are injecting into what's happening, expanding on the indexes.
Codex
you know,
are
getting lots of
ejecting,
cool things to do.
expanding.
Yeah, and I think I'm right in saying that I think most of those come with at least some new models, and some of those codexes come with a lot of new models. So there's some cool stuff on the way.
Okay.
Wow,
Some
cannot
cool
wait.
stuff on the
I'm
way.
hyped.
I know you are, but you do live in a permanent state of hype, though. Paul.
Pretty much.
That's-
Well, look, if it's Warhammer, I'm excited.
Yeah, cool. All right, so that's Warhammer 40,000. We do have a little bit more for 40k later on in this preview, but let's jump.
Oh,
to,
they're gonna end
another
with
system
40K.
there,
They're gonna
and
end on
some
a
of the
big
cool new
40K
things on
note.
their way,
All right.
for one of our other games.
I heard that pop. They might have synced up the audio again. Let's go. Oh shit, dude, this is sick. It's happening. Let's go. Oh shit. Dude, we're getting Elden Ring. Yo, did you see the dude's face looking at himself? There was like a grafted dude's face looking in shocked horror at the other guy.
The great nobility returns, draped in their
God
finery.
damn. They aren't fucking
A beautiful
around.
army of knights and nobles and mighty warriors.
I can
added
never
into
make
the
fun
modern
of
world.
Flesh Eater
Probably the
Courts
most
again. Look at
noble,
that shit.
Most renowned and the most handsome, I think, of all the
Shining,
factions.
You know, I always said I
gleaming
wanted to see the
full of
Grand
flowers and
Delusion
life.
in
Yeah, well,
Flesh
let's
Eater
have a
Court
look at,
models.
some of these models.
I was
This
wrong.
is a phenomenal release.
I guess I wanted to
for,
see
the Summer
Elden
King
Ring
and his warriors. This is
in
this
Flesh
is
Eater Court's
Crypt
models.
Guard, the noble defenders of the castles and keeps. Of
Okay, these
the
guys
King's
still
realm,
look stupid, but
and
they're
this is one of
supposed to
your
look
elite units, basically,
stupid.
For,
That's fine.
for the courts, and they are armed with the best weapons available.
Gleaming
to the
weaponry.
Gleaming weaponry.
Obviously well maintained by their squires and courts.
I think particular
Yeah, they decided not to give them all humongous pubes and instead, you know, some
Yeah, I
decency.
think so. This unit comes with some weapon options, so you can either have them with swords, or you can kit them out with halberds, giving you some options in terms of how you want to kit them out and how you want to best
I
protect
mean, they
your
look
king's
like what
realm,
they're
basically.
supposed to look like. I like the halberds. Look at
This
these
is
dudes.
one of the units that the courts have really been waiting for, which is
More
a heavy
big
cavalry unit.
knights?
So mighty knights on the back of fine
All
and
right,
noble
this is
steeds.
sick, and he's got a
These guys
skull
can crash
helmet.
into enemy formations and break them in the name of honor and nobility.
Bringing hope and light.
I
to
can
all
hear
their
the Flesh
townsfolk.
Eater Court
Yeah,
players.
I mean, the forces of evil will surely fall as these guys
This is
crash
so
into
sick,
their lines,
actually.
and gleaming knights cut down enemy champions.
Very
and
good.
hordes
And
of
the
beasts alike.
Shrimp
the
was the
trumpet,
thunder
is that
across
like
the
a
plains.
dude's face
Yeah.
doing the
Some close-ups
Omega
on some of these
lol?
models. I think it's really nice to see that the kind of heraldry
Nice helmet.
come into the fore here. A really nice kind of
Dude,
palette.
wait
maybe
till
to
it
test
cycles
out
through.
some,
Is it
bold
is the
heraldic
horn
schemes
the
on
guy
models.
doing an Omega lol?
Brightness. Staggering.
This guy is a courtier.
Oh,
of
thank
the
you.
court, and
Dude,
he
the
is
current
a
Vargolf
mighty warrior
courtier,
indeed. He's
it
able
needed
to take
this.
on
Look at these
somehow
cool-
with superhuman feats of
super
strength,
long
almost
arms
smash
and
through
shit.
enemy
This is
formations
sick.
As if he was some kind of great and strong, powerful.
He can
beast.
finally
As
rest
you can see,
after
larger than life
20
size deeds
years.
alone.
As you can see, a gleaming champion of
Let's
humanity
go.
that can stand proud in the mortal realms. Some beautiful shots of the back of him there, showing off the full heraldic panoply of his war.
Dude, I like his super long forearms.
And then we go the cardinal there, allowing you to
Abhorrent
add some,
cardinal,
priests,
nice. We're getting
and
some
like
religion.
extra little
Yo,
kind
we
of,
got a judge, we got
boost
a
abilities
priest.
into your Age of Sigmar army.
You could
and
see his little
again,
head in there.
Herald really of
Dude, that's
the,
great. And he's
of
almost
his
wearing like a
courts and of his
vicar
king,
or a
able
vicar
to
robes.
Spread the good word of the courts to all the people
You'll
of the
eat
realms.
Draped in
crow.
finery and inspiring
FEC no
presence.
longer belongs in trash.
And the royal decapitator. So we saw.
Oh, you gotta give him the
Grand
hood.
Justice
You gotta give him the
earlier on,
hood.
in this month, and we obviously
I'm-
he's.
I'm kind of shocked
giving the
they went with
proclamations
a
of the
non-hood
King's
option.
justice
Look at
as
this.
fair and righteous, but
Royal
often,
Decapitator, the
unfortunately, some of,
executioner we
the,
wanted.
The justices need to. The justice that needs to be
Let's go.
dispensed
This is so sick.
decapitation. And
What a
when
what a
that's
nice
true,
surprise.
This guy, stoically steps forward to
They're like,
deliver,
what if Flesh Eater
that
Courts was
unfortunate
Bloodborne
The
and
sharpest
a
of
little
Satan's
bit
blows,
of
obviously showing
of
mercy
Elden
and
Ring.
grace.
It is really immersive.
no need for gravity? Thanks for the 100 bits, by the way.
And all of this will
Thanks
be
for the follow,
coming
White
in
Lion.
well, some of this will be coming in a new army box, which is available.
Chat, I am
the first time you'll be
hard.
able to get your hands on the battle tome, but also
This
the
is
first
sick.
time you get
Show
to
me
be able
the
to
big
get
guy
lots
again.
Of these new plastic kits. This is the content.
Okay,
of that
so there's an army set, and then
So
also,
loads
by
of
the
really
way,
cool stuff
the
on
huge
way.
dude.
Spectacular. I mean, seriously, look, this is amazing.
Yeah, really
This
beautiful
is
detailed
huge.
things. This is the special edition battle tome there.
Yep,
and
probably a
obviously
good
you
box.
can
Looks
build these
good.
guys in lots of different ways.
No old
So
models,
I think
all
we're gonna
new
see
stuff.
A lot of these on the battlefield as the more
A bunch of
very
troops
soon.
and things like
But
that. Look at this.
This guy, the
Dude,
king
and
himself,
this guy is
Usherin,
screaming at his own head.
Warlock of Delusion, Nagash's
Let's go.
most noble,
Look at this
and
the
most
cradling of
fastidious
this
champion,
rod.
a hero of the
His
world
2
who
fingers
was,
held down and
still
upside down
lives,
Stormcast
from
helm.
the noble line of Strigoi, which obviously traces its lineage all the
Doesn't
way back
skip
to
leg
the
day.
ancient realm of Lamia in
The
the
beast.
beyond the borders of the old world.
This is absolutely spectacular. The detail.
This is
almost
sick. And look at this,
overwhelming. Look at that.
It's such a good
His
model.
cape game
it's
is like
just, I think,
dripping off
one
of his
the best
body.
models, kind of in Age of Sigmar, which is saying something because there's some absolutely stunning stuff in
This
there.
is so good.
But
S
a
tier,
painter's
easy.
dream. This model is very big, so there's been some.
This
comparisons.
model
So you
is
kind of get a sense
very
of how big it is
big.
by looking at some of the sizes of some of the accoutrements and the jewelry that's on that model.
And maybe some of those depictions
Damn,
of
that's
real
sick.
life on the cloak there.
Yeah, absolutely.
S-tier
but we'll
Elden
have some
Ring
pictures of
boss.
this on the Warhammer community website.
Games
as well,
Workshop.
next to,
James
some of the
Workshop
other,
does it again. Nice
miniatures
crown
and range,
too.
so you can kind of see how
And
this guy
the
stacks up
screaming
against
man. I
the
love
others.
that guy.
Very impressive, very imposing miniature.
Dude,
and of
so
course, an
cool.
important part
Godric
of
the
narrative
Goated.
of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. The cool thing about the king himself is that we've heard an awful lot about the Summer King, about Usherin, the
That guy's pretty big.
Of Delusion of Nagash for an awful long time.
He's
But even
this
in
dude
the,
is.
the world that was in Warhammer Fantasy Battle.
Is he on?
it
Is
was
he on
never a
the
model.
big
It's never been a
pipe
model for this guy, right?
base?
So this is the first time we've
This
managed to
guy
see him in
is
all of his glory. All of his
huge.
regal
It's
glory.
going to be hard to resist the call of this army. I mean, this
It
this has
definitely
all
is.
the detail, the finery, the amazingness, the nobility, the charm.
Yeah.
I'm
So
hooked.
there we go. So a very exciting release for
Finally.
Warhammer Age of Sigmar. But let's have a look at another game
Rejoice.
system and see
I'm
what's on the
sold.
way.
That's so cool. Cool boys, you got your work cut out for you. Oh, it's an Underworld warband. The Mighty Horn. Yo, they rolled a die. That's what it's like to play the game. They rolled a die. Dice rolling intensifies. Yo, Doot Man blowing his mighty horn.
A new faction for Warhammer Underworlds. Underworlds heralded as one of the tightest and most competitive games ever released.
I mean, big
Yeah, so
sleep,
this is a
right?
cool
I'm in a
faction
fucking
for Warhammer
coma.
Underworlds. We have seen.
I don't know where I
Cool
am.
Boys
I
before,
woke
but
up
this
for
is
the
a
first
very
time.
different take on the
I
kind
asked
of
how many
Cool
different
Boy
types of Coca-Cola there
archetype.
is, and they said
This
like 30.
is a warband, Dagog's Stab Lads,
Yeah.
and these are led by Dagog, which is the guy with
It's
the big
it's
spear
not
there.
their fault.
His kind of thing is that he is.
It's not the
fixed
Cruel
in
Boys'
which
fault.
means
I
that he's
mean,
out
how are you
to
gonna
try and
follow
get
that
hold
up?
of enemy leaders, take their heads, and using various magics of Mork, take the cunning inside their heads, so he can become
They're
the
trying.
most cunning
Does
kill
he need
boss.
the rest of them or just the heads?
I think he just needs the heads.
I would have
so,
started
I
with
mean,
this
they
and
can
then
keep the rest
gone to
of them.
Flesh Eater
Powerful
Swords.
magics.
But there's some fun stuff going on in this warband. Each one of them is kind of an interesting kind of archetype within the Cruel Boys. So you've got the kind of sneaky one on the far right there with the knives. You've got the one that's like a little bit of a,
They look like funny
a
guys, which is all
bruiser
you'd
with his
want.
big
They are
two-handed
funny
chain, kind
guys.
of like the monster.
There's
brain
nothing
or
wrong with
something.
them.
You've got the horn. One
It's not
fun
like
thing
they're
about the
bad, it's
hornblower
just
is that the
damn.
horn of Kragnos.
That was
So
a
when he
it was a
sounds
rough
that,
follow-up,
the
you
other
know.
orcs can kind of hear the rumble of their god wherever they are. And then you've got Dagog himself, who's the leader. So it's a really fun, very thematic and characterful warband. And it's a little look at some of the stats.
His name
These
is
guys
Herc.
are solid. This is a good, well-rounded warband.
name
They
is
can fight pretty well. They are
Herc.
Uruks, so lots of health points. They hit pretty hard in combat, but they also have a few tricks to help them out, so they don't fight
So they'll
fair.
keep the
They
Crypt
have,
Honkers. I don't know if they will
schemes, which
keep the
basically
Crypt
means that,
Honkers.
they are things that you know is on the way, that you know that you're trying to achieve.
Oh,
or change the
actually,
way
I'm
back
sure they
into
will,
the box,
right?
But your opponent doesn't.
Why
know it's
get
coming,
rid
so
of
you kind
models?
Plot out a little bit of how you want the game to play out, knowing full well what the future is going to hold.
You roll the R, I
but your
can't
opponent
do
is
it.
None the wiser.
That's a
sort of
little
thing.
unique.
Yeah, it's. I think one of the nice things about Underworlds at the moment is that every warband really does have a unique play style. So even
Or
though
is ain't
there's
that bad?
another
They're
Cruel
not
Boys
that
warband in
bad. They're
Underworlds,
not like
they have a
Yetis or
very
something
different
like that.
feel,
I
to
mean,
these guys.
There's a lot of
Everything
open
you need
space
right
on
now.
horrors, so you can paint them
they
up and
all
fix
comes
them.
as one set. So as long as you've got one of the core sets for Warhammer Underworlds, well, either the starter set or the current.
They'll keep the Crypt
core
Honkers because they're
season,
part of the dual
these
kit.
guys
Yeah,
can
it's
kind
the
of play
flayers
straight
and the
into it out of the
honkers.
box. So all there on the way as well. Come with a full Rivals deck and all the cards and things you need to play. So if you're a fan of the Cruel Boys, and I am a fan of the Cruel Boys.
You have no idea if the ghouls are
this
new
is
ghouls or a new
really nice
unit.
way
I
to kind of
think
get
they're
some,
meant to
get a new
replace
warband for
them.
Underworlds is actually one of the
But I'm
components
just
here of the World
guessing.
Championships
That's
going to
true,
crown
yeah.
the first champion country here for this event.
New
It's one of
unit.
the- one
They're
of the
not
events we-
replacing
Yeah,
them.
it's definitely one of those systems that's on the up at
All
the
right.
moment. Lots of
They look so
excitement
similar
around
that I
the
thought that
currency
maybe they were
Warhammer
replacing them,
world.
but
Lots of people enjoying it an awful lot. So yeah,
they are
we're,
elite.
excited to see
Okay.
what that warband and lots of future warbands are on the way. How that changes. The
They
matchup
sound like a
piece.
new unit to you.
Right,
Okay.
let's have a look at another game system.
Let's look at another game system, shall we? Savagery just got savagier. I don't like the beak helmets. I think the beaks are dumb. I don't like these guys. They're boring. And I don't like the beaks. What chapter is this? Oh, it's Horus. Okay, Horus Heresy.
How cool is that, folks?
So these are old
infantry. We need
Space Marines.
infantry.
Oh, that's why they
it's
look
been a
like
long
that.
time
Okay.
coming, but we finally got new.
Well, then it's
plastic
fine,
submarine
'cause they're
models
supposed to
very much
look-
here,
I was
for
gonna say they
Warhammer,
looked
the Horus
old.
Heresy. They are
And they do,
beaky
'cause
armor, which I
they're
think
supposed to
for me
look
feels
old,
like
'cause
the
that's
most
the game.
appropriate armor for assault marines because they look like pointed, right? They look like they can go fast.
They do. That's
look
like-
a
No,
bit
thank you,
like-
Turkish. I'm
Right,
savage
that's
enough.
action.
That's what you want if you've got a jump pack. They are a multi-part plastic kit. You've got everything you need in this box set to make that unit into either chainsaws and bolt pistols wielding unit.
Are these guys
or
cool?
You
What-
can build them into
what legion are they
shield
from?
And chainsaw wielding as well.
So it's truly a kit for every legion.
Yeah,
Oh.
so some legions.
They
kind of
just
favour
answered my
certain things,
question.
right?
For
So,
any legion.
Your,
You can
the
play 'em with
shield
anything.
Is particularly cool if you've got something like a kind of siege-esque sort of force. So your
Now that fleshy accords are
your
gone, what are our
fists, your
bingo
iron
guesses
warriors,
for the old
also
world?
things like,
Tomb Kings.
Ultramarines,
Every
where they have
time
a kind
I
of
will
shield
guess
wall
Tomb
kind of
Kings,
aesthetic going
even
for
though
it.
I know
If you
I
want
am
a more
wrong.
well-rounded kind of brutal look to it, more offense, less defense.
Connor
You
thinks
want
it's a tier
some
1 for
Horus or
32
Blood
months.
Angels,
I
something like that.
appreciate it.
You probably want just more damage, right? So you're going to go for your
Beakies
chainsaw
forever.
pistol combo.
Are they
And the
called
Imperial Fist
beakies?
over
Is
there,
that
look at that. That captures
like
so
double
much of
beaky?
The story of Imperial Fist right there, and that I love that paint job.
Yeah, a little bit of Black Templar in there as well. Kind of obviously during the time of the
Tomb
Horus
Kings
Heresy,
is
the
actually
Templars were
absolutely
part of the
happening?
Imperial Fist
For
before they kind of
sure,
broke off on their
says
own.
chat. Okay.
Spoilers.
What?
I will feed off of your
That's
confidence.
fine. This is a really flexible kit as well, so you've got the kind of
You're
jump
gonna be
packs,
correct
which are
tonight.
a
It
kind of
will be
new
Tomb-
style
yeah,
almost of
chat
jump
seems-
packs. They're more detailed than some of the
Is
Horus
this
Heresy
like-
jump packs we've seen in the
Is
past.
this hive mind
Very flexible
hopium,
with some of
or
the
do you
Warhammer
guys know
40,000
something I
and
don't?
the Horus Heresy thing. So if you've got something like
yeah,
I don't know,
based
a
and beak
Space Wolf
pilled?
Force and
Yeah,
you wanna
it
get
is
some,
known.
some Sky Claws in there or something like that
Shit.
would be a fine choice. Or if you wanted a more classic look to your assault squad for something like Iron Warriors in Warhammer 40,000.
I mean, I love the.
Damn, I
retro
can't get
feel
over
to
how
this. Like,
sick
it's like the technology is not quite there.
the
Not quite
is
as
that
sleek
the
yet. They
Summer
just strapped
King?
him in there and said, "Just here's these rockets and go."
Is it
There
the
is
Summer
something that's
King?
completely
You look like a
brutal
king to
about,
me.
The way that jump packs work.
Get a
with
big
Space
old
Marine,
crown,
because
a
the Space Marine
scepter,
itself,
a rod,
a ton,
a
right?
chalice,
Like a ton of armor,
know,
and like
all the-
gene-bred
all the
killer, and they
trappings
just put a rocket on it and
of
they've
royalty.
thrown it into the battle. They are
His name
a
is
brutal,
Usharan.
unsubtle unit, but very useful.
Like Usha
in
Taunta.
Warhammer the Horus Heresy, because it's rare that you're kind of able to move around the battlefield quite as fast as these guys. And in the Horus Heresy, you
Usharan,
can have a lot
Mortarch of
jump troops in your
Delusion
army,
from
right?
the
You can
reveal.
have
Fuck, that's a
swarms
cool
of them.
name. That's a cool
Warhammer
ass
40,000
name.
Maybe be unusual to see more than maybe 10 or 20.
Damn,
in the
he's
Horus Heresy,
good.
50 is not an
That's
uncommon
the
sight
main
in
guy
games,
that
so
the
you
madness
do want
springs
plenty of them.
from.
The good
Holy
news is they
shit.
come in nice big boxes of 10, so you can get.
Well, if
quick
he's
hits
Usha
and
wrong, I don't want to be
love
right.
The option of being a kit basher myself, you know, being able to mix and match picks and create the squads that looks best. To
Yeah,
me.
we'll have some pictures of these up on the
Patient
community
Zero.
website soon as well. But the thing to know as well is there's lots of options in there for the commanders of that squad. So you got Power Fists and Lightning Claws and Plasma Pistols and all the stuff you'd want to have on your leader units.
I know a lot of Horus Heresy players. I know they're going to be excited about these.
Yeah. Right. Let's take a look at another game system.
Mortarch of Delusion is an awesome episode. Yeah, you're right. Cars. Bring justice to the Ash Wastes with Borderlands 4. I don't know, dune buggies, I sleep. I sleep on dune buggies. Alright, time for a police chase.
Folks, folks may recognize that profile. a
His
little bit.
fucking face right
Yeah,
away.
so this is the Taurus Venator for Necromunda. This is the enforcers of Necromunda. They need a way to zip around the ashways. Unfortunately,
Enforcers.
not all the crime in Necromunda happens inside the city, and occasionally you need to go out there.
All right,
and
let's keep
track
talking
down
about how cool the
dangerous
fucking
elements
Summer
who might
King
be either
looks.
undermining law,
Let me see if I
or
can
more
find it
likely
over here.
undermining the nobility of the hives. So you need to make sure that there's none of that. The Taurus Venator, the Palatine enforcers are able to get access to this. You might recognize the Taurus Venator from Astra Militarum forces.
Well, we
commonly
didn't
used by
have any
things
like cool
the,
named
Legion drop troops.
Yep.
But this is a common chassis
flesh eaters
template
for when I
design
was
seen
making the
across
magic
Imperium in lots
cards.
of different places. The Palatine enforcers make good
Looks like
use
I'm
of
gonna
it,
have to write up
and
a
it is,
card.
significantly
for the Summer
I suppose,
King.
more durable and advanced than some of
It's
the
a pity
things
we
that
don't
are
know any
coming
of his
up
rules
against,
yet.
in the
'cause that would
Ashways.
really
They
help
are
the design
well-equipped. So
process.
much like the Palatine enforcers themselves, which tend to have better armor, better weapons, but far fewer models than some of the gangs they go up against. The Taurus Venator
And the
is
Judge.
a very solid pick for your transportation across the Ashways.
I love the different weapon options here. Those look so cool, and the wheels too on the thing.
Yeah, it looks very fun. It looks very durable, right? So
He's
you've
Mardu,
got,
no doubt. Yeah,
lots of wheels,
the
and it looks
current
like
one
you
I
can
made
very
is
happily,
is
race
Mardu.
across the dunes. You've got lots of little details, so the heads on the
Because there's
the
just
riders
no
that
other
are very interchangeable
color
and
combination
stuff.
FEC can be.
You've got different
There's
weapon
plenty of
options.
white.
You've
There's
got
like
some
there's
stowage and
definitely
storage
order in
and
there.
spare fuel and
Because
stuff like that.
they
So
think
you
that
can
there's all
really
this
lean into
order,
that
and there actually
slightly
kind of
grubby
is.
aesthetic that Necromunda has.
And so I
Or
would
you
I would
can
defend
keep it
them
nice and
being
paint it nice and clean and
more
put
than
all the
just
details
Rakdos.
on.
Like there is
Everything
that
was
white
just
in there.
rolled off the production line somewhere in Hive Primus.
I do like that very ground level. That
They're
kinda
spamming
sea
ACAB in the
breeze
chat.
sound,
Why?
and, how it captures a lot of feel of Warhammer 40,000.
Oh, because
what it's
they're
like to
police
be
cops
inside a city
from
or
the
something like
future.
that,
Good
and
meme.
just how those conditions unfold, and also in the Ash Waste.
Yeah, I mean, Necromunda to some extent is like a microcosm of the whole Warhammer 40,000 universe, right? Which is like this planet, which has just been completely.
It's funny, he's another
ruined
old world
by the
Mortarch, but for
industry
some
of
reason he's just
humanity, and now
massive,
you've just
unlike the
got,
others.
like, fighting over
That sounds
the
like the
scraps of
others'
what's
problem
left.
and not his.
And even though this is technically a functioning planet,
Twitch
by the
culture.
standards of
Yeah,
the Imperium, it's still absolutely.
it's
awful.
probably
The
ironic,
police
you know.
forces, horrifically corrupt.
I tell
Every
myself.
single gang is trying to do something horrible. There are the cannibals in the basement and hunters in the skies and all sorts of horrible things.
It's easier not to cringe
the
that
world
way.
of Necromunda is a very grim place indeed, but a very fun place.
There's something kind
to
of
set
funny about
skirmishes.
spamming ACAB and cheering
there
for
you go.
Space
I
Marines.
enjoy it.
Sure.
I've also seen a couple of war bosses wringing their hands, so maybe,
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
like they have some designs on
I
that.
think every vehicle is to some extent an orc vehicle.
He's been lifting
so
since
I'm
the old
quite
world,
Sure we'll see
yeah.
a few of those make their way into Orc Wars. I also think that would Gene steal a cult up very well. So if you're looking for like an alternate Ridge Runner or something like that, I think that would just
Every
do
time
the
someone
job
said
quite
flesh eater cords
There's
have
much
cool
like the
lore,
orcs, there's
but
something to be said for having a
don't
little
like
bit
the
of a
models,
mod look to your,
he did one
Gene Stealer
push-up.
cult force as well. So I think I'm eyeing that up for my Gene Stealers. I think I might swoop in there as well, which obviously could do dual service.
Maximus Minius thinks there's a tier 1
Very true. There we go.
for 29 months.
Yeah, right,
Genuinely
cool.
just
Very cool
joined.
indeed. All right, I think we are now
Quick
on to-
verdict on what was revealed. The best centerpiece in the
Kill Team.
game
We've got Kill
has
Team.
been
Okay,
revealed.
Sorry guys, I forgot
The
the order there.
previous best
We do have a little bit
centerpieces
more
in the
Warhammer
game
40,000
have
in
been
shape of the
dethroned.
next Kill
There's a
Team,
new
so let's take
king.
a look at what's on its
Y'all
way
are gonna
very
like
soon.
this.
And you won't believe it, but it's from Flesh Eater Courts. S tier. Flesh Eater Courts is officially cool looking now. Catacross is pretty good. Catacross is sure pretty good. Nagash is pretty good. Marathi is pretty good. The two meatballs from Gloomspite Gits are pretty good. There's a lot of S tier, I think. Ooh, had a little bit of a flicker there. F? F's in
I
chat?
kind of always want to know who gets the
No,
honor
okay,
of
we're
being
good.
Stuck on
We're
the
back.
banners.
Well, it's a good question. It's a good question. So this is, as the chat has quite rightly noticed and been crying the war cry, a brand new plastic warband for Kill Team. The
A
Night
brand new
Lords.
plastic
So
warband
this is
for Kill
based
Team.
on the Chaos Space Marine
What
kit,
legion is
but with
this?
a huge amount of new options and customizability
Is this?
added
Is
in.
he wearing people's
This is
skin?
Nemesis Claw. So this is 10 box of Chaos Space Marines with a huge amount of extra
Yo.
Night Lordy components, and you can have a look there at some of the incredible details that you've got. So we're just going to
The absolute
on this here for a
edge
little bit and kind of
master.
soak it in, and then we'll have a look.
Are
at some
these
of the
the
ones up close.
edgy
You can see
case
you've got,
lords?
chain glaives in there. You've got some chainsaws. You've got lightning claws.
The drip.
You've got all the kind of bat-headed aesthetic.
The
you
best
expect from
Legion?
the
Are
Night
these the
Lords.
Batmen?
One thing worth noting, I think the bat heads are a little bit more kind of
Night Lords, your buddy plays
streamlined
them.
and
This is
restrained
hype.
maybe than some of the Night Lords helmet we've seen.
This
in the
guy
past.
has a
little
big
bit more
missile launcher. I
practical,
like
but no
that
less
part.
Well, they
terrifying.
hide in the shadows. They've got to duck behind some cover.
There you
know,
go,
it's-
They're
a
a
lot
bunch
has
of
evolved over the
bad
last 2,000
Batman.
years, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But, I mean, a
What
phenomenal
if Batman
looking
was
kill team, very cool.
sick?
Let's have a look at some of the models in a little bit more detail. So
It's
lots-
Bucky.
By the way, I gotta say that there's some elements here.
Yeah, there's some lovely
It's Bucky
details.
from
So
Captain
on the
America.
Left there, you have a
And this
Night
time
Lord
he's
with
serious.
a loyalist Astarte stuck to a banner, and
The joke is
goodness
they were just
knows
as evil before
what
they
kind of
joined
fell
Chaos. That's
rituals have
funny.
gone on there, but fundamentally, what he's saying there is it doesn't matter if you're humanity's finest. I'm still going to hunt you down, gut you, and stick you on a
Yeah,
banner
dude,
for my
trust
own
me,
amusement
was
and for the amusement of
trustworthy.
my dark
Legendary
pantheon.
Court's got a priest
In the
now.
middle there, you've got the stealth
Well
specialist with
deserved.
obviously a venomed blade and a scoped bolt pistol and that kind of terrifying skull mask. So leaning into that kind of stealth specialist. One of the nice things about Kill Team is that even though these are all legionaries to some extent,
Mhm.
you have very clear specialisms within that, including things like the
Okay,
on the
that's the
right
cool
there,
part.
the lightning claw wielding.
Night Lords are fun to
and
meme
those lightning
about.
claws very reminiscent of
I don't
the
know.
Night
As long as
Lords,
it's not
from,
too bad, like that's
the Age of the
fun.
Same
Heresy.
look,
I
same
think.
feel, same vibe. You can definitely see that gene.
I don't know. I
imprint
suppose it
working
can be
its way
like-
out.
I mean, all
It can be
legions have a very
Unfortunate if everybody's memeing on your army, but there's a way that people can do it that's like
Doesn't mean that they
endearing.
don't like the lightning claws.
I don't know how to
an awful
describe it.
lot. And there's a close up on.
Sometimes
some
it's
more of
nice
the
to have
models.
memes
These
in your
are,
army. Look at this fucking sword. This
really
is
cool.
hilarious.
So I think the chainsaw there.
And then it's a
is
chainsaw sword.
phenomenally kind of
Okay.
cool detail. That's one of the
See, this
most
is
kind of
funny to
metal
me. This is
chainsaws
good.
I think I've ever seen.
Good work.
And of course, the leader of your warband.
There's
has
just a bunch of
flame
fucking
cloak
skulls in
made
it,
as a
'cause why
skin to
not
his
at that
enemy,
point?
Just in case anyone going up against him thought it would be a good idea.
That patchwork looks absolutely awesome.
Excellent stitch work there from the Night Lord. Probably did it himself, to be honest.
Good stitch work,
very,
yeah.
Very good. So
And
a very
Space
cool
Marines are
warband.
artists.
He fit a
Yeah,
tiny little
obviously,
skull with
Space
wings in
Marines and
there.
Kill Team of all flavors are very powerful and potent.
Night Edgelords, not on this
all the things
website.
that you'd want them to be able to do. That unit, of course,
gonna have to go to a different one
will
for
see
that.
Utility in Warhammer 40,000 as well.
God.
I can see
Godspeed.
like all armies are already planning
yeah,
right now. How can I get as many of these in my force as I can?
I mean, I don't know. If, we might be able to cut back to the full unit shot, but
How
one of
do
the
I get
things
as
that
many
you
of
will
these as
notice
I
is that
can?
I
Well,
think
you
you
go
have
to the
enough
web
shoulder pads
store
in there so
and
that
click
every single one of
17
them
times
can
and then
have the
finally
Night Lord's
find them.
Legion symbol on the shoulder if they're not a kind of specialist, which is pretty cool. So lends itself very well to people who kind of want to lean into that. But also, obviously, the way that Warhammer 40,000 armies now work is if you have an army that's not Night Lords, you can quite happily kind of put these guys into it now and say, actually, you know what, I'm just going to have one of my Legion units is just going to be.
Oh, you
all
can
of
do
the
that
Night Lords
now.
unit, and that's fine.
Okay.
And you can get double.
Maybe you
GTLs
always
in
could,
there
I don't
from
know.
Kill Team and Warhammer 40,000.
He's talking about souping
a
stuff
very
up.
cool addition to Kill Team, and I think Night
You
Lords
wait
have a
in the
very
queue,
financial fan
yeah.
base, as do many of the Traitor Legions, and they'll be very pleased to see them.
They've been in some amazing novels.
They
There's
have
people
indeed,
like to
yeah.
look at some comments in the chat. It's like, well, I guess I got to learn how to paint lightning now.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, I mean, you can probably get away with not painting the lightning on them, but you're gonna give it a go, right? It's a good excuse.
give it a go, right? Yeah.
And you know,
Give
it's
it a
certainly
go.
a lot easier to paint lightning
Paint
onto,
bravely.
5 or 10 models for a
If you
kill
don't
team
think
than it
you're
is to
ready,
embark on a full 100
you're
model
probably
Lands
right,
Tanks army of
but do
lightning.
it
So,
anyway.
You know, have a dabble, have a go of a kill team, see if you like it.
Have a
If you do,
dabble.
You can always expand into a full army.
Those look awesome.
Just
We're
have
not
a
done.
dabble.
We're not done. We know a lot
Any
of you tuned in
dabblers
to
in
see some
chat?
old world content, and we can now quite happily show you what I think is going to be the most impressive and spectacular miniature that's going to be releasing alongside the launch of the old world. So let's take a look at something very cool indeed.
That big words after Flesh Eater Court. Let's go. He threw down the gauntlet. Has a crocodilian looking face to it. Is this Draco Leech? From the Plane of Fear? Yo. Huge. I'm gonna need a wellness report. If anybody knows Tomb King Tristan in real life, go ahead and give him a call. If he doesn't answer, call the paramedics. This is sick. Oh, and the one-eyed cat. Good detail. Unleash the curse of Nagaj. Please be plastic. Please. Please, Jesus. Not
That's
fine
gonna be a big
cast.
square base.
That is
Not resin.
indeed a very
Please.
big, impressive, new, multi-part plastic Necrolith Bone Dragon available for the Tomb Kings. We can confirm that the Tomb Kings will be an army released.
He
and
said
supported
plastic.
alongside Bretonians of one of the launch armies of the new
Let's go.
Warhammer the Old World on its way.
Dude, cool
very
hanging
early,
things here.
Next year. This is a
Shit billowing in the
phenomenal plastic
winds.
kit. Very different sort of
Ooh, look at these
bone
spikes.
dragon
Nice
than
spikes.
the zombie dragons that we've seen in the world ridden by vampires, almost like a crocodilian sort of head to it, and far
does
less
have a
meat on its
crocodilian
bones,
head.
perhaps, than some of the other undead constructs we've seen in the past.
I am
a very
concerned about its
impressive model. The
structural
Tomb King
integrity,
obviously
but hey,
riding
it's
high at the
plastic,
top of
it's
that to
not
give him a commanding
resin,
view of
that's a good
battlefield.
thing.
If you have a Tomb King army, if you're familiar with Warhammer Fantasy, you'll know that you absolutely want to have a
God
Tomb King
damn, this
in
is
your army.
good.
He is the kind
This
of
is
linchpin
looking
general
good.
unit of your army, and you want to keep him nice and safe. And what safer place could there be than perched
They
atop
waited
the
for
back
so
of an
long.
enormous undead construct.
The soon
This is a
posters
multi-part
on
plastic kit.
4chan that have been
So,
posting
as well as being
soon
able to build
with
it and
Cetra on it
Options.
for
Options is always
9
great.
years.
You can also build him as a high priest
Every
on Necrolith
day.
Bone Dragon. This some
Dude, this shit is
beautiful
cool
little
too.
features
Look at
that's
this.
Kind of worth dwelling on. So
They got
you can see that
scales
kind
to
of
balance
vulture
things
being
off,
spawned
a
out
human
sand,
heart,
kind of,
and then I'm not sure
maybe
what
like
this
end
is supposed
spell
to
or
be,
something
gold
that he's
maybe.
kind of created and constructed out of the sands of Khemri.
A sand
Lovely little
goose. Actually,
details
it's
on
not a
there of,
goose,
like,
it's more of a
the
vulture.
death mask at the bottom there. That's probably what he looked like in
Got
life before,
Scarab necklace
old
here.
age and the
Cool looking
ravages of the
head.
Gash's curse has wizened him away.
By
Lots of lovely
God.
little kind of scarab details and skull details, kind of hinting at the
Oh, is it scarab? Is that it?
worship of death.
Scarab,
obviously
did he say?
occurred within the
Is
land
it
of
pronounced
Khemri itself.
scarab?
It's like looks like someone's.
I've been
getting two, that's
pronouncing
also gonna
scarab
come-
I mean,
wrong
yeah,
forever.
you get two. I mean, it's a phenomenal miniature. I think
It is a
would
phenomenal
be
miniature.
rude not
It's
to
almost
include
not
at least
even a
one in your
miniature.
Tomb
Shit
King's
looks
force.
big.
And the other thing that's really nice about this kit is whichever one you decide to build, if you go for the High Priest, you get a Tomb King, which you can use as like a Tomb
Oh,
King
cool.
or
You
Tomb
get
Prince
a guy
foot,
on foot that
to
comes with
lead
it.
your
That's
kind of
cool.
infantry. So whichever one you decide to build, you also get another foot character. And
It's a
in
big
Warhammer,
miniature,
the
yeah.
old world, much like Warhammer Fantasy, you kind of you want to have some heroes in the mix, right? So especially in an undead force, you want to make sure you've got enough heroes to keep your army moving forward. But yeah, this is a spectacular miniature.
This is
Even
sick.
if you've got no interest in the old world,
You're gonna have to
Tomb
do
system,
something with
loads of
all
people
these
do
bones
very
here,
excited
otherwise it's
about
gonna
it.
be a
Even
little
if you
samey to
just
paint
love
up.
miniatures and you want something to paint,
You're gonna have
this
to
looks
find
like
some
a
texture to put on all
It does
these
a lot of
bones, I
contrast
think.
colors
Otherwise, it's
and
gonna look a
colors
little
and
dull
here,
in
all the
here.
different textures that still
But that's
make its
just
way
a
on this
challenge for the
otherwise
painter. It's
bone,
probably gonna be a
motif
welcome
here.
one.
Yeah, loads. I think the thing that's nice about this is I think you'll paint up fairly quickly, right? You could get contrast paints and dry brushes and stuff would get your kind of most of it, the bone structure done quite quickly. And then
Loads.
you could really take your
I
time
heard
with
it.
the kind of golden detail and the gems and
They
all that sort of
said it.
stuff. We've got some questions in there about
We
the,
also have some requests as well.
Yeah, I don't actually know if we have a close-up of the cat, but I think we will try and get that up.
Do
on
we
the
have a close-up
Warhammer
of the
community
cat?
website
Okay,
for you
let's
very
see
soon.
it.
It does come with
It
a
was a
modified
one-eyed cat.
which is included in the kit as well. I don't know if the cat actually has a profile. I think it might just be an aesthetic addition to the kit.
Well, it's a
Rumor we did this
companion,
live
so it counts
also
as a mount.
erupted, So you're in good company wanting that picture.
Oh,
as well.
actually, I don't know.
Such a cool model.
Old
There's
world
loads
rules
of
are
bits
different.
in this as well. So if you build
Who
it
knows
as
if the cat has
Tomb
a-
King,
This is
you
old
can
world.
keep the
Everything's supposed to be
bits
really
separate.
crunchy.
You've got loads of
Of
different
course the
bits to
cat
kind of
has
mix in the
stats.
rest of your army and kind of jazz up your chariots and units and stuff like that. So it's a really, really fun model. This is on its way with a bunch of
Burb
other new
style.
Tomb King things launching very early in 2024 alongside lots of the Bretonian stuff that we've seen already.
Very
So
early in
it's a very exciting
2024.
time for Tomb King fans and for fans of the old world
This
generally.
looks so amazing. And look at the profile, the height that's going to come off the battlefield. It's going to truly be a showpiece for the
It's
army.
Did you see the horrifying
Like,
strength versus
stands
toughness
so
chart they
much
posted?
taller.
Yeah, I saw their
You look at that,
THACO
you can kind of
system.
get the sense of it. He's
But
quite
this
a
is
big
this
infantry
is for
model in his
people
own
who
right, but
actually
standing,
played
you know,
Warhammer Fantasy.
5 or 6 times
And
the
those
height of
people
a
like that
human
stuff.
infantry model, so a very big imposing model. You can imagine this thing just
Isn't that
smashing
how
through
they
regular
did things in
People are very
Fantasy? You had a big
excited about
THACO
that.
chart for
Yeah,
all
seeing
your
stuff
roles.
Like this has got me excited even more.
You
It's
know,
going to be very cool.
I would
Right.
be a little
So,
like
I am afraid, guys,
vicariously
that is the
upset if they
last of
tried
our
to change
previews.
that
We've seen loads of cool stuff.
to
We've
be
seen Warhammer
easier to
40,000,
play or
some
more
Age of Sigmar
fun or
stuff,
something
a
like
new
that. This is
Mortarch
supposed to
returning.
target
Necromunda killed
the
too.
people who
we've
like
seen
the old game
the
and
Necron stuff.
actually
I think
played it.
Dark Angel's got some very cool
And
things
so
on
I
the
will
way.
defend that, even though I would
Nightgor
hate to
seems very
play
popular as
with
well. Do you have
that
a favourite,
system.
Paul, of the stuff that we've shown today?
I really think that the Mortar coming
know,
back. I mean,
it's like
that
classic
model,
WoW,
it's- I
no
mean, it's
changes,
hard to
right?
get at the scope, but that thing looks massive.
I mean, it is bigger than a kind of
Charts
almost the size of
charts
kind
are
of Demon
fun.
Primarchs. It's
See?
kind of that
They
sort of
like
scale.
charts.
So it is it's cool for a bunch of reasons. Like if you've been
This is like a,
following the
yeah,
lore of
you're right,
Warhammer
Hungry
for a
Panda.
long
So far,
time,
this is a
you
9
know
out of 10
that
preview show.
character,
The
Usher,
only
was
game
pivotal to
system
some of the major events of
that
the
was
old
boring
world
as
and the
hell
fall of
was
the various
40K.
vampire
Dude,
dynasties,
Old
the rise of
World,
the kind of Strigoi
awesome.
in the old world,
Age of
and then obviously
Sigmar,
the rise of the
awesome.
courts in the
40K,
Mortal
fucking
Realms.
beak
So his
dudes
story
and
is like spans almost the whole history
and
of
what, like Big
Warhammer,
Armor
from,
guy?
like,
I don't know.
Nagash's origin all the way through to the current timeline of Age of Sigmar.
This is
very
me.
cool.
I'm going over the
Whatever
edge of
that
God,
40K reveal
starting
was
that
that they
army.
said they were
It's
saving
really
for
cool. And then
last
the other
better
bits
be a
of that
big
raid are
one.
great. I think Flesh Eater Court to one of those armies.
Necron
that's
guy was cool.
always had
Yeah, but he was a
an
foot hero,
incredible
you know?
narrative and backstory.
They said they were
really
doing
kind
one
of
more
links
40K
origins
reveal.
to
I'm
very early
expecting
Warhammer
something
lore.
big at the end of here.
And now we're seeing a miniatures raid
Underworlds
that really
Forgotten. I
captures
mean,
that
it's a
essence and
side
that
game,
feel. I
so
think it's a really cool time for Age of Sigmar. Warhammer
It's,
40,000. You saw that
just a
codex
side
roadmap.
game
Just
after all, right? Just
incredibly
like
cool
Kill
few months
Team.
ahead for Warhammer 40,000. If you like Dark Angels in particular, you've got a good time ahead.
Well, this has been a true pleasure.
You think that was
hanging
the Kill
out with you,
Team
hanging
thing?
out with the chat, watching these amazing
Oh, you think
reviews, talking about Warhammer
you think
all
Kill Team
day.
counts as 40K?
Let's do it again tomorrow.
We're gonna do it
Yeah.
again tomorrow. Exactly. If you tune in now, you actually come back and watch.
I mean,
on
it
Twitch
uses
all
their
the World
rules, or
Champion
it doesn't
games
use the
we cover
rules,
between
I think.
Warhammer
I think the
40,000
rules are
and Age of
different.
Sigmar. So the previews will be up shortly on the Warhammer community site if they aren't already.
Some of them
Go
already
and
are.
check
Swoosh
out
around
the
with a
videos.
hat? Yeah, like a Darkwing Duck wide brim hat.
The cat's going to be there.
Hold
I'm
on,
pretty
I'm
sure.
getting my
It
green
will
stuff
be.
out.
Eddie, it's been a pleasure. In chat, it's been awesome. We'll see y'all next time, everybody.
Goodbye.
We'll see you all next time, everybody. Oh, that was it. You were right. The 40K thing was Kill Team. Boo. Okay. Little. All right. Surprising. Yeah, CG Busta. I hate to look a gift horse in the mouth here, but I was waiting for that one show Ryukin at the end with 40K, some centerpiece bullshit, you know. Anyway, doesn't ruin anything. 9 out of 10. Old World got a humongo cool Tomb King dragon. Tomb Kings are back. Chill on this music a little bit. Flesh Eater Courts looking amazing, actually. I was kind of disappointed with the Flesh Eater Court reveals we have seen so far, with the exception of that judge. That guy was cool. I was almost ready to write it off. I'm like, damn, they had an opportunity to do something cool with Flesh Eater Courts, and they're just not. I'm so sad, right? And then they showed all those ghouls, you know? And the ghouls are looking kind of normal, and I'm like, oh, here it is. I'm gonna have to try to spin this in a good way. And then the Flappy Boys came out. Those guys are looking awesome. Priest dude looking awesome. And then they came out with Godric the Goated. Holy shit. Flesh Eater Courts is a contender, and he's huge. He had that big old pie plate base. Absolutely massive. Flesh Eater Courts and Tomb Kings chads up bigly. Yeah, true. Finally, they're looking how they should. And it wasn't what I was expecting either. I was thinking of some other theme or some other style, and they came at me with something better. You love to see it. Every once in a while, you're reminded that those Games Workshop sculptors know a thing or two about making cool shit. Dead stonks exploding. Alright, one's in chat. If you are currently, before this announcement, Flesh Eater Courts player. I want to see. We got 192 people in here right now. At this moment. 2's in chat. If you are considering becoming one after this reveal. Oh dear. The 2's have it. Dude, that Summer King is actually so sick. He is so sick. Look at absolute drumming. Ghouls still suck though. Korea Man. You are right. The ghouls still suck. But look, a lot of armies have kind of sucky little guys, right? Some Noblars and stuff. You can deal with it. If you can. Thanks for the 100 bits. No need for gravity. You think the best thing about the FEC reveal is that the direction they are taking the army is super solid. Yeah. I wanted like a... kind of like a design doc, you know? A top sheet, I guess. Well, okay, not a top sheet, but... I guess I wanted to see where the style was going. I think it's called the style sheet. I can't remember. Anyway, very surprised in a good way about that. You figure the chaff units would be easy to speed paint? Says Kane B, thanks for the 100 bits. Yeah, true. Cavalry was the second best thing they revealed. Yeah, I thought the cavalry was really cool too. The Summer King is kind of overshadowing them, but not because they're not cool. They are. I was really happy with it because, you know, Crypt Honkers and Crypt Flayers are supposed to be their cavalry, but it's just like a big guy. And so it didn't quite do it for me. I wanted actual mounts and we got it. Yeah, Executioner guy, I almost forgot about him. That dude is sick. FEC with a Bloodborne aesthetic is a money printer. It sure is. That one guy nobody likes has 8,000 points of Flesh Eater coins. Well, you're about to have more. Fully painted, fully paced, all done as a sacrifice to summon forth the Summer King. Oh, okay. All right. My faith has been rewarded, brothers and sisters. Rise up, my fellow knights. Likelihood of ghouls getting updated in a second wave. That unit that we saw, if that doesn't replace ghouls, we're going to have the normal ghouls for a long time, I think. Picks up in Giga. Let's go. Let's go. Alright, let's drag this guy onto the screen pronto. Look at this dude. The two fingers. The rings. Nice bracelets, too. This is good work. I love the huge bracelets. Like he used to be... Like somehow he used to be bigger, but he's lost... for some reason he's lost. He's a little emaciated, maybe, even though didn't skip leg day. Good to see. And the pauldron, dude, the guy screaming at his own face and kind of grabbing onto it. That shit is sick. That is cool. Kind of nothing is going on as far as his base is concerned, right? It's a little empty, but I don't even consider that a criticism. I think that's actually a good thing. Because if you're like a Giga Chad sculptor or customizer, you know, you're actually going to... You're given a canvas here. You can do whatever you want with it. I like that. He's the center of the, you know, attention after all. He's the star of the show. Yeah, the cloth especially. It looks like it's dripping down the stairs. Good cape game. Huge comb-over mohawk. This is a sick weapon, too. A gigantic mace. We're getting some more maces going around. Yeah, and he's got the cup on his hip. Hold on, where is it? Their website loaded that like it was 1998. Line by line. Also, the upside-down Stormcast helm. Great touch. Upside-down symbol means... kind of, it's like insulting to the whatever symbol you're using, you know, like an upside down cross, for instance. The chalice, the fucking chalice on the hip. What's this? Is this one of the giant bat wolf heads, I think, and then those are the teeth? Someone's been juicing. Oh, he's juiced up. Yeah, and the decaying... all the decaying stuff in his cape. Alright. The first person who buys this, get some green stuff, make this the cool S. You have to. You have to do it. Actual Liver King? Oh no. Liver King's body cries out to him. That man looks like he's going to die. Yeah, we got some good variety too amongst the heads. Got elven heads. Human, probably a dwarf. You could give him dragon wings like a big vampire bat. That's a big undertaking, but how sick would that look, though? Like, put Be'lakor wings on him or something? I wonder if the size is right. You might have to go with, like, Crazy, like the Stormcast, the 600-point Stormcast dragon wings. You might have to be that big. He's so good. Easy to transport. True, he's just a sphere, right? Just a sphere of stuff. There's no spindly, really long things hanging off of it. That's kind of nice. Big vector vibes. What if they gave this guy fly and imagine him leaping? Yeah. I mean, it would just be like Godric the Grafted in Elden Ring. It really is reminiscent of that. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm celebrating. I rejoice for this. He's a dense unit. He is a dense unit. You love a model that stays in its lane. True. Wonder how tall he'd be if he stood up. Probably at least 40% taller. According to my science. According to my eye science. Dark fantasy power metal monster. Hell yeah. More of this. They read that one guy's review and they're like, Age of Sigmar isn't grimdark, huh? Well, check this out. Check this shit out. Man, 10 out of 10 S tier. This is so sick. Where are those mounted guys? Let's take a look at those again. Yeah, these guys. This stuff is cool too. I like the bone helmet actually. That looks cool. I wanted some mounted stuff. And then you got Mr. Two-Head here. Faces stitched onto their shields. Looks like animal pelt and then stapled onto it is some human stuff. Big old spear. A sword. Dude, it is. Okay, the first time I looked at it, I'm like, is the horn the Omega lol? It is. All right. That's the first thing I'm gonna Photoshop and put on Twitter is the Omega lol on the horn. And as soon as I'm done streaming here. The horn guy's head. And then the Vargolf Courtier. Finally, you can rest. It's been 20 years. I like the super long forearms. This guy's cool too. I like the Pontifex. What is this? Cardinal. The Abhorrent Cardinal. Still has some organs in there. That's cool. Yeah, they doubled down on the long arms, which I appreciate. You love the loading. Couldn't program it to be that any better. I don't know. It's the website. I like this guy. This is a good touch. And where's the Tex-Mex Hexecutioner? This dude. He's simple. Everything doesn't need to be crazy. He's just exactly what he needs to be. Not everything needs to be 11 out of 10, you know? Use the hood one, obviously. But yeah. Nothing wrong with it. It's classic. I like it. Big old off with their heads axe. Hooded executioner guy. Ship it. Looks good. A true man of the cloth. Yeah. Damn, that's sick. Great work. How are they going to top this one? Who's looking for the huge upgrades? Who's looking for these? Jesus. What other armies are looking for this, right? That are in as desperate need as Flesh Eater Courts were. Skaven. Beasts of Chaos. Ogres. Any more besides those three? Skaven probably need it the most. I think we can all admit. And I'm going to say Beast of Chaos and Ogres are tied. Maybe they're tied because I play Ogres. Maybe they're tied because half of their model range is fine cast. Oh, Bone Splitters. Latno Hot, you are right. Bone Splitters is up there. Fire Slayers are up there. Even though they're relatively new, I think they're still technically up there. But those are like, we're looking for a second wave. They're kind of new-ish, right? You think Bone Splitters is more of a chorfing than a refresh? I get that impression as well. The writing's on the wall, so to speak. Yeah, and I would also count second wave separate from army refreshes made Pandora. I think I agree too. Skaven is supposedly coming with 4th edition. Dude, imagine if they put this kind of effort into fucking Beast Claw Raiders. Dude, the hopium. Someone get me off this. It's too much. I can't see or hear anymore. There's just a ringing in my ears. Everything's blurry. I don't know where I am. I have to get off this hopium real quick. They don't seem to be slowing down since slaves. Well, they kept delaying everything, remember? For the entirety of COVID, they're like, this is delayed, that's delayed, please wait. Here's something, and we should have made 4 times more of it than we did, but please wait. I guess they really were working on stuff. Slaves came out, it was the shit, this stuff. Seraphon came out. More Sylvaneth. They're actually churning shit out. And all they had to do was take 2 years off, basically. Yeah, we're getting some big projects, and I'm getting some big hopium off of it. KO models aren't that old, but they need a range fill out. Yeah, to me, that's like a second wave thing, Alt Wedge. Fire Slayers, Iron Jaws, who just kind of got it. Caradron Overlords, perhaps even Idnet Deepkin. Some of those, like, kind of small Age of Sigmar brand new armies that we're all kind of waiting for a second wave of, I would agree. Cruel Boys, maybe, you know. Daughters of Cain, that's another one. More Snake Ladies. But I consider that to be an entirely different thing than army that's not getting squatted, but its models are 20 years old and filled with half fine cast, and in Skaven's case, sometimes even metal. Like, to me, those are a big difference, you know. But I don't know, they're a big company, man. They can work on more than one thing at once, as they have shown just now. Yeah, Stormcast could use one. Maybe just heroes. Stormcast a little light on heroes. They could use a fifth wave of heroes, perhaps. Anyway, chat, join the Discord. Doctor tells me I got to get to bed early and fast, starting sometime Saturday. So for a Monday thing, but I still should be able to stream Monday. For Age of Sigmar TTS game, I'm going to try to set one up. And then next Friday, I think I'm playing against brand new Cities of Sigmar, I think. So it is the return of Age of Sigmar being played on the channel. Imagine. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.